The time is 1 o'clock from Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Here's the news read by Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. First, the headlines. Military dissociates self from anti-democratic moves, pledges loyalty to government. Nigerian traders in Ghana seek end to harassment. On the foreign scene, President Biden raises refugee admissions cap to 62,500 after backlash. In sports, Europa League final in Poland to be played before fans. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. The Defense Headquarters has dissociated itself from any anti-democratic utterances and positions, as well as pledged loyalty to the President Muhammadu Buhari and the 1999 Constitution as amended. The acting director, Defense Information, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, stated this in a statement in Abuja. Nwachukwu said the attention of the military high command had been drawn to a statement suggesting that current political leadership should hand over power to the military for the purpose of restructuring. He said that the statement was purported to have been made by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, Robert Clark. The defense spokesperson further warned that the military high command would not tolerate misguided politicians who nurse the inordinate ambition to rule the country outside the ballot box. He said that the Defense Headquarters would advise those politicians to banish such thoughts, adding that the military under the current leadership remains resolute in the defense of the nation's democracy and its growth. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called for the creation of a National Border Protection Force to secure Nigeria's borders. The PDP National Chairman, Uche Secondus, gave the advice at a world conference organized by the party in Abuja. The force, according to Secondus, will include any integrated border protection system that will draw personnel and equipment from existing armed service and Nigerian Immigration Service. He said that Nigeria must protect its borders from the activities of terrorists and bandits. Secondus decried the increase of cases of murder, kidnapping, and other acts of terrorism across the country, especially in Kaduna, Niger, Benue, Katsina, and Zamfara. He condemned the attack on a correctional facility in Owerri, Imo, which led to the release of 1,844 inmates. The Secondus called for the deployment of technology in the fight against terror, banditry, and other crimes.
We therefore demand, number one, for the immediate upscaling of the personnel strength of our men and women in uniform. Number two, call for the establishment of a state police. We call for the creation of national borders protection. And this is also very important. Pressure on government eventually yields results, but we will continue to follow that through what the Constitution means. And that is why we're here today making this press conference. And that's why we'll continue to demand that the right thing is done and play our own role.
Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku has advised the federal government to try state police in addressing the security challenges in the country. Ishaku gave the advice in his remarks at a world news conference organized by the People's Democratic Party at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. According to Governor Darius, the primary responsibility of any democratic government was to secure the people and their property. He said the state governors were going through challenges and were helpless in managing the insecurity as they have no power over the security agencies. The governor stressed on the need to ensure that police handle issues of internal security while the military protect the territorial sovereignty of the country as a last resort for war.
We that are managing the state are going through horrors. We that are in the state are having it difficult to explain to our people. I've had several times people come to me and say, Governor, what are you doing? They are massacring us. I tell them that I have nothing to do because there is no security under my control. They cannot understand. They find it difficult to understand. Let us wake up and do something that is sensible and reasonable.
Now, the Bauchi state government has placed 4 local government areas in the state on high security alert. Briefing journalists after an emergency security council meeting, the secretary to the state government, Sabiu Baba, identified the local councils as Zaki, Dambam, Darazo, and Gamawa. He said criminal elements have found their way into the state from neighboring Yobe state. The invaders were reported to have come in with weapons, and 5 persons have already been arrested by the police after attempting to dismantle telecommunication masts. Baba said the state government will commence immediate profiling of internally displaced persons tripping into the state to prevent the resettlement of members of Boko Haram terrorists migrating from other northeastern states.
The implication of what has happened in Gaidam is there is a lot of influx of people moving into Bauchi State from Yobe. Of course, that will put a lot of strain on our facilities and resources. And considering the kind of movement outcome of Boko Haram activity, the security implication there is also very high. Of course, security is the responsibility of all of us. We do not expect that the security agencies alone will tackle this problem. So all hands will be on deck, including our traditional institutions, our religious groups. It will be expected that we will continue to profile whoever is coming into Bauchi State. I can tell you that some people come in with weapons, and it is the profiling that will help us stem that kind of problem. Apart from that, any criminal activity that is noticed as people try to settle among us should be promptly reported to the security agencies. We have noticed attempts to dismantle MTN facilities.
Nigerian traders in Ghana have urged the federal government to take urgent steps to stop the harassment of Nigerians living in that country being subjected to by Ghanaian authorities. President of the Nigerian Union of Traders Association in Ghana, NUTAG, Mr. Chukwuemeka Naji, made the call in a telephone interview. Naji was speaking against the backdrop of the recent arrest of 500 Nigerians in Borga, in Upper West region of Ghana. He said the 500 Nigerians were arrested by Ghanaian immigration and moved to the Aflao border without proper investigation to ascertain how they got to that country. He explained that those people were victims of a Ghana-based company, QNet, with collaborators in Nigeria who deceive people by telling them that there's employment in Ghana and that the job will pay $250 a week. A Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has recorded 18 new coronavirus infections with zero COVID-19 related deaths in 4 states and the Federal Capital Territory as of May 3rd. The NCDC disclosed this on its official Twitter handle on Monday. The agency said that with the new 18 cases, the tally of confirmed COVID-19 infections in the country jumped to 165,199. It noted that Lagos State led with 8 new cases, followed by the FCT with 6 cases, Edo 2 cases, while Rivers and Ogun had 1 case each. The agency said that the country's active cases stood at 7,757 in the past 24 hours. It stated that 10 people were successfully treated and had recovered from the virus and discharged from various isolation centers across the country in the past 24 hours. You're still listening to the 1 p.m. news on Splash 105.5 FM. Now turning to the foreign scene. President Joe Biden has raised the cap for refugee admissions into the United States to 62,500 in a U-turn that more than quadruples the limit set by his predecessor. The number announced on Monday was still short of the 125,000 Biden promised during his presidential campaign, though he said he intended to set that as the goal for next year. Biden had previously set this year's refugee admissions level at 15,000, maintaining the cap set by former President Donald Trump, but after receiving criticism in April, he walked it back. He said that the 62,500 cap was unlikely to be reached this fiscal year, which ends September 30th. Now, Libyan Foreign Minister Naila Mangush has met with her Turkish counterpart Mevlut Cavusoglu in the capital Tripoli and called for Turkey to cooperate to evacuate foreign forces from Libya. The Libyan government said in a statement that Mangush called on Turkey to cooperate with regard to the implementation of the ceasefire agreement and the outcomes of the Berlin Conference, including the evacuation of foreign forces and mercenaries from the Libyan lands in support of Libya's sovereignty. The Libyan foreign minister stressed the importance of the distinguished relations between the two countries and praised Turkey's support in fighting against the coronavirus in Libya, the statement said. Cavusoglu confirmed his country's support for the Libyan government to maintain the country's security and stability, explaining that his meeting with the Libyan Prime Minister included a discussion about the Maritime Memorandum of Understanding signed between the two countries. And in sports, European football ruling body UEFA said that the final of the Europa League in Nash later this month can take place with up to 9,500 fans. UEFA said this followed agreement with Polish authorities. The stadium can use up to 25% of its capacity for the May 26th final. But foreign fans will have to observe coronavirus rule for entry into Poland and restrictions when there. The semi-final second legs are this Thursday when Manchester United defend a 6-2 lead away to Roma and Arsenal attempt to overcome a 2-1 deficit at home to Villarreal. And Italy has started to vaccinate members of its national football team against COVID-19 ahead of Euro 2020 this summer. The country's authorities will also ensure their 2020 Olympic athletes are vaccinated before heading to the Tokyo Games. The Football Federation said that the government had approved the vaccinations for the Azzurri players given the relevance of the European Championships. And players can receive their jab either at an Institute for Infectious Illnesses in Rome or at a university hospital in Milan. Italy will also soon offer vaccinations to its Olympic team, according to Francesco Figliolo, the extraordinary commissaire for the coronavirus emergency at the opening of a vaccination center in Rome. Now, just before we go, a recap of the headlines. Military has dissociated itself from anti-democratic moves, pledged loyalty to government. Nigerian traders in Ghana have sought end to harassment. President Biden has raised refugee admissions camp to 62,500 after backlash. Then sports, Europa League final in Poland to be played before fans. For more details on the news, visit our website on www.splashfm1055.com. Now, you can download the Splash FM mobile app on iOS, BlackBerry World, and Google Play Store to listen live, get news update, opinion poll, and also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5, then click to download. We have now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawu, assisted by Abidemi Kajobola. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa, and up next is a health show called Health Check. Enjoy.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes.